Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to get racial, talk about race, okay? So, I made another video about black bloc tactics on arresting people, okay? Now, here's where it gets racial or a touchy subject, okay? Let's talk about the George Floyd situation. Let me preface everything I say by the George Floyd and anybody else that is in a similar situation. There's another guy too. I don't remember his name. He fell asleep in a Wendy's parking lot. Okay, I'm going to talk about that next. So, what we see in the George Floyd video is that he's playing games with them, you know. He's not like just doing what they said, right? He's falling to the ground. He's going limp to avoid being put in the back of the car, okay? Now, does that mean you deserve to be killed? No, not by any stretch of the imagination, okay? But I've never pulled that kind of stuff with the cops, and I got beat up. Really freaking, there's a video down in the description somewhere of me telling the whole story how I got just fucking annihilated by a cop for doing exactly what he was saying to do. Don't move, hands up, don't move, hands up, don't move, hands up. And he just comes up and starts beating the fuck out of me and my friend with the nightstick. And fuck, I got misshapen ribs, I got scar on the fucking face, okay? He stomped on my head. I'm laying on the ground, not ever once put up any sort of, and he stomps on my fucking head, giving me a concussion. This is for doing exactly what the fucking cops said. Cops are out of control, no fucking question, okay? But don't give them a goddamn excuse. I mean, and that's basically what George Floyd, by playing this game with them, by going limp and by trying not to get in the cop car, he's playing a game with them. And okay, now there's a mental exercise that I've been practicing for decades that I can see the same situation from multiple points of view, okay? It's not rocket science. It's like a kung fu principle. You look at one thing and you look at all the different angles, okay? And you try to understand where everybody's coming from, okay? Now, from the cops' perspective, like, why is this guy trying to avoid what is the reason, you know? That's what's going through the cops' heads. Is he just holding out because he's got buddies on the way? Is he got some kind of serious drug problem right now that's making him behave in this way? Is he preparing to do something? Like, this is the kind of shit. And like, look, even as a security guard, as a bouncer for nightclubs, right? And owning nightclubs and having to deal with all this kind of shit, not all the kind of shit the cops have to deal with, but dealing with people not wanting to do what you want them to do or leave or whatever, right? That when people start to give you attitude and start to cause problems, the mind goes into all this what if, why, okay, asking all these questions like, what is the situation here, okay? Now, those cops' response to the George Floyd doing that, obviously about 1 million times not called for, right? Killing someone or even like, you know, subduing them with a blood choke, right? That anything like that's just unrealistic, not necessary. I mean, your little stormtroopers running around with every damn weapon and communication. You have your whole gang of people. This is the cops I'm talking about now. you shouldn't be worried about one fucking guy in handcuffs so bad that you need to fucking do anything beyond just stuff his ass in the back of the car. If he's giving you a fucking hard time not going in the back of the car, and it gets a fucking pain in the ass and an issue, and he gets, pushing into the car, and he gets a hurt thing, and like this being pushed in the fucking car because he was refusing to be put in the fucking car, that's the thing, right? And this all goes back to the whole entire world's economy and everything's set up just for failure, right? So the fact that you go into my resource-based economy videos if you really want to see how to fix these type of problems, right? Because the system is the problem. The way the entire mechanisms of this planet are run are why we have the George Floyd's dead in the street, okay? It's way bigger than the cops, okay? Now, I personally defund the whole entire law system, all right? The whole entire, defund the cops, the lawyers, the judges, the prisons, all that stuff over an amount of time. Get rid of it. We don't need it. Resource-based economy. Okay. Got a little sidetracked, little plug for the resource-based economy. But now we're going to continue. So the second guy, the guy that falls asleep in the Wendy's parking lot drive-through drunk, okay? Now, here's these cops. I watched the video. Like, they're not being bad to the guy at all. Like, they're fucking totally being nice to the guy, running him through the process. And then, like, when it becomes the fucking point, like, yeah, dude, you're fucked up and you're going to jail. He goes, and now, okay, this is where it gets racial. I'm talking about racial shit right now, right? Not racist, racial. You, as a white person, as a black person, as a brown person, as any other person, you should be able to talk about other colored people, differently colored than yourselves, without having the implications of being a racist, okay? I got a video that I end with Black Lives Matter. Most definitely not a racist. Racial, like I can see racial differences and the way that racially the black people get treated really, really bad, by white people a lot. Okay, I said this is me speaking about race, racial. Okay, this whole mechanism of black people, and it's not only black people, but I would say that it's most black people, so a large majority of black people have this ability, okay? And we see it in sports, right? That's why they're faster, jump higher. Okay, well, there's more to it than just all that. They have that ability to go from 0 to 60 in like no time at all. You see it right there in that video. That guy's being arrested, and he can I can't move like that. I can't just go, whoa, bam, and just be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is fight or flight in engaging, okay? And engaging to a level that is like, whoa, okay? So, I can't believe those cops are being charged. Okay, because that shit, that dude and George Floyd are two totally separate situations, right? They're both resisting arrest, but the degrees of resisting arrest is drastically different, right? The dude in the Wendy's parking lot, like, if I was a fucking cop, what would I be thinking? Whoa, why doesn't this guy want to go to jail? What did he do that is making him act like this? He's grabbing fucking weapons. Dude, if he would have got his hand on a gun, he would have treated it exactly like he was treating it, like that stun gun. That's what's going through the cops' heads. So, in that situation, like, seriously, like, that dude, in that fucking situation, like, I'm not saying he justified to kill that person, but I cannot see myself doing anything fucking different. If I was a fucking cop and a dude, anybody, white, black, purple, doesn't fucking matter, goes from 0 to fucking 60, when I got my fucking hands on them, and I've been totally professional with them the whole entire time, like, and this is the racial part. Like, the black people have this ability. It goes along with the sports and all this shit. Like, to go from 0 to 60. Now, I was in martial arts when I was a kid, right? And I had a tournament that I went to. And there was this little black taekwondo kid, right? He hit me so many times, so fast. I like literally didn't know where the fuck he came from, right? I mean, he was so fast. He was faster than anybody I'd ever sparred with before in my life. He was lightning fucking fast, right? Okay, now I had been training in karate for years, and I had never fought anybody that fast. Now, is there white people? Sure. But what my point is when you take all white people and all black people, more black people have the ability to go from 0 to 60, be really fucking fast. These are all the sports things we see, okay? So this is a racial analogy, a racial observation, okay? I'm not saying it just is what it is, okay? You just went, now, the problem comes when the dude is just, you got no reason to think the guy's gonna freak out, and then you're putting the handcuffs on him and he goes freaking just crazy, right? What do you think? Anybody, what do you think? I mean, the timing of that whole thing is, and what I would just say is, yeah, the black people are being killed by cops at a crazy rate, right? Don't give them a fucking reason, man. Okay, you're going to fucking jail. You got cops on you. Do you think that this fucking whole like exploding, grabbing their weapons, fighting them, you think that's gonna fucking end up better than just fucking going to fucking jail for the night or even a year? You're crazy, okay? And that's what it boils down to, is there's a lot of people who are just fucking crazy. And it's the system. The system created fucking crazy people, all right? But now what are we going to do? We got these fucking bully-ass cops. We got a bunch of fucking crazy people that don't want to go to fucking jail. And fucking what, are we just going to have them all battle out? Or are we just going to turn this whole thing around and just point it towards someplace better? Okay, that's what I'm saying. Let's point it towards something, right? Let's go to a future where we don't need people being babysit by fucking authorities, okay? Where everybody is just mature enough to deal with their own selves. And when they're not, the community just handles them just around the community, right? Policing in a resource-based economy is a community thing. There is no police officers. There is no judges. There is no lawyers. There's nobody just sitting around writing up bullshit, just absorbing resources, which is what they're doing. All the resources that the cops, the lawyers, the prisons, all those resources that they absorb, okay? If those resources were distributed more intelligently, we wouldn't have the problems that those institutions are trying to solve. We have the resources to do all this, but capitalism has everything locked up in this weird, it has to be profitable mode, okay? So let's switch to a fucking system that says human health first, period. That's it. It's simple. Resource-based economy. All right? We don't need to have race wars. We don't need to have haves and have-nots and bullies and all this shit. Like, it's literally all outdated, all right? We couldn't have done this 20 years ago. We can do this now. We've had the technology going on in just a little over 10 years, okay? So the technology's there. All the systems around the world, the isms that we live under currently, are all developed hundreds and hundreds of years ago by people that really didn't know about any sort of electronic device. Okay? This is huge, okay? Because these electronic devices have the ability to completely replace everything. You see the Airbnb replaces this and the Lyft replaces that, right? Well, look, that's all just skimming it, like literally. These devices could just run a world where there is no politicians, cops, leaders. All there is people doing real work actual stuff that needs to be done. So now all the resources that are being pissed away on a daily basis on these war machines around the world, all those resources just having availability to people to make their lives better, wouldn't that be a lot better than just blowing stuff up all the time? I mean, it's a huge difference. The amount of waste of resources is why we have these problems that we have. If we didn't have the waste of resources, we wouldn't have the problems, because 98% of the problems are from the financial aspect. This guy is trying to pass a fucking bogus $20 bill because he's fucking hungry and he wants to fucking eat. So now he's going to get killed in the streets, and people are going to fucking goddamn be in the streets when there's a pandemic and all this. All this is just BS. And it just takes the knowledge that there's a better way, and everybody just saying, yeah, it's time. Let's just do this. Let's just go to a resource-based economy, stop the wars, stop the prisons, and just come together as a planet, open source knowledge, and get on with being a multi-planet species. Okay? Peace.